Starting in the name of Allah, the most merciful, mighty and gracious to all. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, and welcome to the class of inferential statistics. Today, students, we are going to start the 13th lecture of the inferential statistics, and here in this lecture we will cover the confidence interval for proportion and the confidence interval for the difference between two proportions. If you remember, I told you that we are in the estimation by confidence interval portion, and in estimation by confidence interval we will cover up total 4 parameters. It simply means that we will discuss the confidence interval for 4 parameters. The first, that is the mean. The second, that is the difference between two means. The third, that is proportion, and the fourth, that is difference between two proportions. Already in the last lecture of series we have covered the confidence interval for mean, the confidence interval for the difference between two means, and today in this 13th lecture we are going to discuss the confidence interval for proportion and the confidence interval for the difference between two proportions. Techniques and methods, these are the same, but only formula is a bit different. Whatever we have covered in the last 2 lectures in the mean and difference between mean, so today the same methodology we have to apply, only the formula will be different. So now first we are going to discuss the confidence interval for the proportion. If you remember, already we have discussed about the proportion in the sampling distribution section, that where I told you that proportion that is represented by P, capital P, which is known as your parameter, and when we have the sample proportion, it is represented by P cap or P hat. Now formula for the proportion, that was capital X divided by capital N, where the X shows our interest while the N shows clear the population size. And same is the case when we have P cap, estimator or statistic, small x divided by small n. Small x shows same our interest in the sample data, and while small n shows clear the total sample size. So now let's start from the first, that confidence interval for the proportion. Now the formula for the confidence interval for the proportion, that is P cap plus minus Z alpha by 2 critical values from the table under the root P cap Q cap divided by N. Ab look at here, P cap is basically the estimator. It is the statistic of your proportion. As I told you that when we have the parameter proportion, that will be represented by P, and when we have sample proportion statistic, it will be represented by P cap. Then plus minus, as I told you, that plus mean the upper limit and plus mean minus mean the lower limit. Like for example, P cap plus Z alpha by 2 under the root P cap into Q cap divided by N. It shows your upper limit. When we are talking about P cap minus Z alpha by 2 under the root P cap Q cap divided by N, now this minus shows clear the negative limit. So simply means that P is greater than P cap minus Z alpha by 2 under the root P cap dot Q cap divided by N, and P is less than P cap plus Z alpha by 2 under the root P cap Q cap divided by N. Up here in most of the books the Q is represented by 1 minus P cap. If you remember, in the probability we discussed a formula that P plus Q, that is equal to 1. It means the probability of success and the probability of failure. When we combine both, the total probability that is equal to 100. So this 100 in probability we represent with 1. So P and Q, P is the probability or the proportion of success, while Q is the probability or proportion of failure. So in some books the Q is also represented by 1 minus P cap. So don't be confused, 1 minus P cap, that is same like Q. Now we are going to solve some questions upon this formula, that is the same critical table, critical values, where 90% will have the value 1.645, 95% will have the values 1.96, and 99% will have the values 2.58. Now let's start from the next. I have taken a question from the book, and first we read out the question, and then we will move that how to solve the question. This question is relevant to the proportion, like how they find a 90% confidence interval for the actual proportion. Is it? So proportion means that we have to find out a confidence interval for P of people who eat seafood on Fridays at this cafeteria. Our Khodada simply stated कि 95% confidence interval proportion दे पारा find out करी. याद साथ proportion चिकम दे दा हमेशा question या data चिकम दा it will divide it into two parts. One will be success, one will be failure. Now let's start. Sanga the divide करी. Let's start. दा देता सुला question की explain करूँगा. We'll read out the question. In a random sample of 500 people eating lunch at a hospital cafeteria on various Fridays, it was found that 160 people preferred seafood. Now make 90% confidence interval for the actual proportion of people who eat seafood on Fridays at this cafeteria. Why? यो हॉस्पिटल दा शफाखाना दा आखिर की यो कैंटीन दे यो कैफेटेरिया दा अलता खलक राजी खुराक खुरी तो उस गुरा देयर आर सो मेनी पीपल ओवरऑल च कम पॉपुलेशन दे अगर ढेर ज्यादा उसका वही च ओवरऑल पॉपुलेशन दे पारा तासो फाइंड आउट करी च अलता खलक यो डिश दे सी फूड अगर प्रेफर करी अगर खोखई नो उस ओवरऑल पॉपुलेशन दे पारा अंदाजन 10% खलक की सही हुआ च अगर सी फूड खोखई ओवरऑल population parameter de para yaad hai no gura de para agi chokra agi you sample select karo, and the sample was 500 people. Us the 500 people, that is our small n. Sahi out of 500 people, how many people prefer seafood? Sura kasano khakra da seafood da yo dish da, that is 160. Us the 160 chikam de, that is known as x. Sahi hope a bit idea will be clear. Now let's start from the question. The question was, Awal Khuda da gura P cap I want to find out. Say sure? P cap. P cap formula da x divided by n. Matlab small x divided by small n. Ab gura n total sura di, n total 500 khalak di as a sample. Out of 500, 160 people prefer seafood. No chida divide ke 160 divided by 500, you will get 0.32. It means in the sample of 500 people, 0.32 people like the seafood. मतलब the 500 च कम खलक थे अहो कि 160 खलको अगर seafood च कम डिश थे अगर ख्वाह करे थे नो परसेंटेज की सूरत जुड़ेगी 0.32 मतलब 32%. 32% खलको सैंपल खबर को मां सही आउट ऑफ 500 32% खलको च दे अगर seafood ख्वाह करे थे सही that is P cap. 100% खलको नदा ख्वाह करे सही that is 0.68 मतलब 68% people सही they didn't prefer the seafood. No da 0.68 या 68% संग रागले दे दा गोरी Q cap is equal to 1 minus P cap. दा दड़ा फार्मूला दा चे P plus Q सही द्वारा जमा के that is equal to 1 चे शुरू की मास सास्ता हुए चे success or failure probability चे जमा शी that is equal to your 1. No uskura P में चले अल्ता अड़ावल है दे because I want to find out the value of Q. अब 1 minus P that is 0.32. So 1 नचे 0.32 लार्शी that is 0.68. It means 32% खल को sample के seafood ख्वाह करे दे और 68% खल को नदा ख्वाह करे. N out that was 500 and X that was the preferred people, that is 160. Now we have the value of X, we have the value of N, we have the value of Q cap, we also have the value of P cap. So now just put the values in the formula. So 95% confidence interval for P. No, our P the para formula put kari. P cap plus minus upper limit lower limit Z alpha by 2 under the root P cap into Q cap divided by N. Uskura P cap. P cap value P cap value that is 0.32. 32%. Now put 0.32 on the place of P cap plus minus Z alpha by 2. Ab Z alpha by 2 that is 95%. अब 95% वैल्यू च कम दा टेबल के दैट इज 1.96 that already we have done these things no zaka padi man dura detail ke najama under the root usgura p that is 0.32 q already value 0.68 divided by n total sample suro khalaq suro 500 is it अब solve this equation 0.32 multiply 0.68 and divide by 500 you will get 0.0004162 take the under root of this term you will get 0.0203 now 0.0203 must be multiplied with 1.96 you will get 0.039 अब again the same logic दो digits थी और दो operators थी सही हुआ यो ज़लिए मनफी कई यो ज़लिए जमा कई no चिकला तासो मनफी कई once you will subtract both the limits you will get 0.28 and once you will add up both the digit you will get 0.35 it means the true proportion of those people who will prefer the seafood in the overall population that will be 28% up to 35% and this is a confidence interval for true population proportion that the people will prefer the seafood and it will start 0.28 up to 0.35 and about that we are 95% confident no zaka that way that is a 95% confidence interval for actual true population proportion hope inshallah a bit idea will be clear maha methodology da same chekam munga mu1 mu or mu1 minus mu2 ke solve kariwa sirf formula chede da laga juda hai uskura your next question de da mein book na rakhaste inshallah it will make your idea again clear easy question idi simply gura a random sample of 400 cigarette smokers is selected and 86 are found to have a preference for brand A. Find 90% confidence interval for the fraction of the population of cigarette smokers who prefer brand A. Simply that way, चुगुरा 400 खलक smokers चिकम दे जिसुक cigarettes की isolate करी दी. No n मासर से दे total 400. सही हुआ? उस out of 400 मतलब sample के 86 खलक चिकम दे सही हुआ आगा brand A इस्तेमाल है. मतलब for example आगा यो cigarette ते brand A मागा से नुमर करे दे. सही हुआ? आगा यो brand दा मतलब ख्वाही. नो दा दे 86. अब 86 ता तरह से दे 86 ता तरह total X दे interest दे. नो उसको वही कि find 90% confidence interval for the population proportion चा दे पारा चे दा smokers दे पारा सही हुआ चाहा brand A ख्वाही. नो अवल को गोरी P cap find out कई मगा जड़ा formula X divided by N that is X ता सर से दे preferred people 86 दे N total सूरा दी 400 नो दा जड़ा लो मासरा 0.21 मतलब 21% खलक चकम दे आगा brand A ख्वाही लेकिन अब in our sample सही हुआ the 21% चकम दे that is the proportion of those people that who like clear the brand A cigarette सही हुआ नो उस जमा पा 400 खलकों के सैंपल के 0.79 खलक दा सीधी सही हुआ जे आगा मतलब दा ब्रांड ए न हो खई एन टोटल सूरा दे 400 एक्स सूरा दे 86 उस 90% कॉन्फिडेंस इंटरवल फॉर पॉपुलेशन प्रोपोर्शन आगा खलकों दे पारा सही हुआ एज अ पैरामीटर जगह ब्रांड ए हो खई नो आगा चला पी कैप प्लस माइनस जेड अल्फा बाय 2 under the root p cap q cap divided by n just put the values in the formula as we did in the last lecture. Gura p cap that is 0.21 no that is that's 0.21 plus minus gura z alpha by 2 table to warshi 90% value pa kyu gure no tasu double table ki value mila washi 1.645 us under the root p value da 0.21 q value da 0.79 and 400 n is this is the value of your total sample. The equation to मुकम्मल solve कई you will get 0.0203 multiply this value with 1.645 you will get 0.033 अब once add up and once subtract चेकल दा दोरा subtract कई you will get 0.177 and that will be 0.243 उसका percentage के दा मुंग convert को नमुंग वेले शू जो true population proportion value for aga khalko de para ya aga smoker de para that who like the brand A that will be start from 17.7% up to 24.3% and about that we are 90% sure or 90% confident. So this confidence interval is a 90% confidence interval that the actual proportion value will exist between 17.7% up to 0.243. या 24.3%. hope inshallah a bit idea will be clear. نقول ما ترتيب ته صحیح شو دغه نشته دی ټیکنیکلیټي پکې نشته دا یو کوېسچن ده تاسو د لپاره ده تاسو سیلف پریکټیس وکړئ. I would like to explain the question چې کوم کوارډینیټس دي دا به تاسو له ایکسپلین کوم باقي تاسو خپل په پریکټیس وکړئ چې تاسو له آیډیا کلیر شي. دا وایي چې a new rocket launching system is being considered for deployment of small short range launches. The existing system has a probability 0.8 as the probability of success launches. نو اوس تاسو وګورئ چې پی چې کوم دی 0.8 دی مطلب 80%. 80% probability success ده نو 0.2 مطلب 20% چې دی هغه تاسو سره کیو وي. نو پی هم تاسو سره ګیون دی او 0.2 چې کوم دی یا 20% هغه تاسو سره کیو دی. نو پی is given, Q is already given. اوس وایي a sample of 400 experimental launches. Sample is sura 40, sorry not 440. 40 is your sample, that is n, is made with the new system and 34 are successful. Out of 40, صحیح شو 34 سری 34 مطلب 80% چې دی هغه success دي. نو دا تاسو سره څه دی دا تاسو سره x. نو اوس in the question we have p, in the question we also have the q, we also have the n and we also have the x. نو اول به تاسو څه وکړئ simply stated تاسو 34 ضرورت هم نشته دی ډایرکټ پی او کیو ویلیو تاسو سره شته دي صرف 95% کانفیډنس انټرول فور پی دغه کوي فارمولا پکې ولګوئ صحیح شو صرف ویلیوز پکې پټ کړئ the formula will give you the lower limit and upper limit. hope inshallah a bit idea will be clear. now چې څنګه موږ last time we discussed چې mean and difference between mean, same is the case that we have the proportion and the next we have difference between proportion. मतलब څنګه چې mu1 minus mu2 now p1 minus p2 دی. اوس when now we have the two proportions and between the two proportions we want to find out its difference minus. اوس دا difference لپاره چې کوم confidence interval دی صحیح شو اوس دا ګورو چې د دې لپاره فارمولا به څنګه is it. now in this lecture ما کوشش کړی دی چې دا دوړه د تاسو له کمپلیټ کما چې دا ټاپک مکمل کور شي. look at here where now our topic is that confidence interval for the difference between two proportions. شروع کې we had only the p. اوس دلته p1 minus p2 راغی ولې چې difference between two proportions دا ګوره p cap 1 is the proportion first, p cap 2 is the proportion second and minus that is the difference. so p cap 1 minus p cap 2 plus minus مدامغه z alpha by 2 دی under the root p1 q1 या q cap 1 divided by n1 plus p cap 2 1 minus p cap 2 divided by n2. don't be confused da gori p1 minus p2 plus minus z alpha by 2 da gori p cap 1 da hum de tasu sara p cap 1 is it da che kam de 1 minus p cap 1 that is the same thing which is known as q. no dear books ke mu direct q likhu aur dear books ke direct 1 minus p cap 1 likhale hai. so don't be confused this 1 minus p cap 1 that is same q صحیح divided by n1 plus p cap 2 into q cap 2 divided by n2 या موږ دا سم لیکلی شو p cap 2 into 1 minus p cap 2 divided by n2. 1 minus p cap 2 is the same thing like q cap 2. so don't be confused. اکثر بک کې دا فارمولا لیکل شوی دا اکثر بک کې دا فارمولا لیکل شوی دا نو سټوډنټ اکثر کنفیوز چې سچ 1 minus p cap 1 دا دی سر so that is simply q1 and here it is simply q2. hope inshallah idea will be clear. باقي خو مغه z alpha by 2 دی ټیبل نه به ویلیو رو باسو په دې باندې یو کوېسچن حل کوو انشاءالله. کوېسچن ډېر اسانه دي ډېر سمپل دي. دا وایي چې ګوره a poll is taken among the residents of a city and the surrounding county to determine the feasibility of a proposal to construct a civic center. if 2400 out of 5000 city residents favor the proposal, ګوره for example زه تاسو ته وایم چې سیټي A یا سیټي B یا زه تاسو ته وایم چې یو کاونټي ایریا ده او یو سیټي ایریا ده مطلب فور ایگزامپل یو سیټي سایډ دی او یو چې کوم دی دیهات سایډ دی ویلیج سایډ دی صحیح شو کاونټي ایریا سمپلی سټیټډ. نو اوس دا وایي چې هغې سلیکشن شوی دی صحیح شو دا یو p1 تاسو ته وایي یو p2 تاسو ته وایي. نو ګوره p1 چې دی څومره دی فور ایگزامپل هغې کې p1 کې n څومره دی 5000 out of 5000 موږ سره څومره دی 2400 that is x. دا شو تاسو سره x1 دا شو تاسو سره for example n1 is it of the proposal and 1200 out of 2000 county residents उस दा खो दे अवलने प्रोपोर्शन द सिटी हो उस दा काउंटी मतलब फॉर एग्जांपल लाइक अ विलेज रवाले सही हुआ 1200 दा शो तासो सरा x2 आउट ऑफ सोरा 2000 दा शो तासो सरा n2 is it county residents favorite. अब find a 90% confidence interval for the true difference in the fraction favoring the proposal to construct the civic center. उस यो civic center जुड़ीगी या यो centers जुड़ीगी सही हुआ अगर मैंने यो proposal दे नो उस दे proposal चले city 1 और city 2 मतलब city residents और county residents सही हुआ village residents but they favorite मतलब दे ये favor कई सही हुआ दा यो proposal चले construction को कई नो दे terms के चकम difference पर राजी अब चूरा राजी. Now let's start clear from the question. उस पर आंसर को गोरा ढेर आसान होने क्वेश्चन दे मगा तरतीब दे गोरा जवाया मा कि अव्वल फर्स्ट आई वांट टू फाइंड आउट 90% कॉन्फिडेंस इंटरवल फॉर P1 माइनस P2 उसो गोरे फर्स्ट कचेसंगा मा सासो हुए कि 90% कॉन्फिडेंस इंटरवल चिकम दे वी वांट टू फर्स्ट कंस्ट्रक्ट सो सेम गोरे 90% कॉन्फिडेंस इंटरवल फॉर P1 माइनस P2 दा बसंगशी P cap 1 minus P cap 2 where P cap 1 is the proportion of first city, P cap 2 is the proportion of second city, मतलब 10 सारा city proportion दो 10 सारा county proportion शो plus minus same Z alpha by 2 अब P cap 1 Q cap 1 divided by N1 मतलब success of city 1 failure of city 1 divided by N1 sample size plus P2 success of city 2 Q2 failure of city 2 सिटी मत 2 मतलब दलता काउंटी दे सही काउंटी सिटी एंड N2 सैंपल साइज नो जा गुरा अवल बुमुंग दा गुरु ची P1 एंड P2 दा में सिर्फ तासो पाराडिकली ची तासो आइडिया क्लियर शी बी द ट्रू प्रोपोर्शन ऑफ रेजिडेंट्स इन द सिटी सो नाउ अगर स्टैटिस्टिक बसे P cap 1 बसंग फाइंड आउट को गुरा x1 डिवाइड बाय n1 अक्का जड़ा फार्मूला अवले सिटी के सैंपल सुरो 5000 out of 5000 2400 चिकम दे सही दा मुंतरा फेवर्स क्यू नो इट मीन 0.48 या 48% खलक चिकमू सचुला सिटी 1 के दैट वर इन द फेवर ऑफ दैट प्रपोजल और 52% खलक चिकम दे सचुला दा फेवर के नो अबाउट दैट प्रपोजल उस काउंटी सिटी या सिटी 2 तराशई x2 डिवाइड बाय n2 टोटल सूरा खलक 2000 आउट ऑफ 2000 1200 खलक चिकमू दैट वर इन द फेवर दाशु 0.60% 60% खलक फेवर क्यू काउंटी सिटी के या सिटी 2 के और 40% खलक चले द फेवर के नो. Now we have P1 value, P2 value, Q1 value and Q2 value. Just put values in the formula. Nagora P1 avaline value da. Nagori P1 value that is 0.48. Nagora 0.48 da de ke put kai 0.48 minus. Biade staso sara gora P2 value. Nagda gori P2 value that is 0.60. Da sho staso sara 0.60. Nagori plus minus सही हुआ Z alpha by 2 शूरा दे 90% ते get the value from the table you will get 1.645 उस गोरी under the root दाशो सासो सरा लाने under the root ना गोरी P1 value 0.48 here is a 0.48 उस Q1 value दादा सासोरा Q1 value 0.52 here it is 0.52 and divided by N1 5000 दादा सासो सरा N1 5000 plus दाशो सासो सरा plus अब P2 second तो P2 तासो सरा सूरा दे 0.60% into दा गोरे Q2 दे 40 here is the 0.40 मतलब 40% that's what divided by N2 total residents दा सूरा दी सिटी 2 के काउंटी सिटी के 2000 अब solve this equation you will get these two values दा द्वारा जमा कई अंडर दी रूट वाले और दे सरे जरब कई मा डायरेक्ट दल तकड़े रे सही हुआ चकला योजली प्लस कई द्वारा डिजिट योजली मनफी कई चकला बस तासो माइनस कवई नो यू विल गेट 14 0.1414 सही हुआ और 0 minus 0.09886 अब दैट इज अ कॉन्फिडेंस इंटरवल between P1 and P2 मतलब residents clear of the city 1 and residents of the city 2 या county city उसको रे if you notice one thing then your note में तासो दे पारा लिखले रे हालांकि दलता पूरा तासो क्वेश्चन क्लियर दे सही हुआ लेकिन सिर्फ यो नोट में डाली करे दे पूरा थोड़ा लिमिट से कम दी इट कंटेन्स नेगेटिव साइन so we can conclude that the proportion of county residents मतलब city 2 favoring that proposal of construction is greater than the proportion of city residents favoring the proposal. What cities you can city 1 city 2 no city 2 कम यो county residents check पक्यू no city 2 खलक check कम दे अगर डेढ़ ज़्यादा favor कई the proposal as compared to city 1 सही हुआ होप चकला हम माइनस आइडिया राशि یا کانفیډنس انټرول ماینس کې راشي نو دا سیکنډ چې کوم فور ایگزامپل کنټری یا سیکنډ چې کوم دغه ویریبل صحیح شو هغه چې کوم دی هغه به پریفرنس په فرست باندې نو ځکه سیکنډ موږ سره کاونټي ریزیډنس صحیح شو یا سیټي 2 نو سیټي 2 چې کوم رهایشي خلک دي ریزیډنسي هغه زیات فیور کوي د کنسټرکشن آیډیا صحیح شو ایز کمپیر ټو سیټي 1 خلک هوپ ان شاء الله ا بیٹ آیډیا ول بی کلیر یو بل کوېسچن وو ګورو صحیح شو چې دا کوېسچن څنګه حل کیږي already the solve question there صحیح شو mostly internet نه مې اخسته ده already solved ده مانه ته solve کړه نو دا به وګورو چې دا وایي سو دا وایي چې کورن اول تاسو څه وکړي چې proportion 1 او proportion 2 په باره کې 95% confidence interval find out کړئ اب read out the question the age at which a woman gives birth to her first child may be an important factor in the risk of later developing cancer ته شولا any cancer کې دي شي An international study conducted by WHO selected women with at least one birth and recorded if they had cancer or not and whether they had their first child before their 30th birthday or after. نو اوس دا وایي چې P1 چې کوم دی هغه څه شو کوي هغه کینسر ریټ شو کوي لیکن چا کینسر ریټ شو کوي when the age at first birth is greater than 30 while P2 چې کوم دی second proportion دا څه شو کوي دا هم چې دی کینسر ریټ شو کوي کله چې کله یو خزه چې کوم دی هغه اولنې برت ورکی لیکن هغه ایج چې دی equal to 30 یا less than 30 مطلب P1 is the rate clear age sexual greater than 30 and P2 is the equal to 30 or less than 30 sexual cancer rate at the age of the babies sexual چې هغه ته ورکی نو اوس ګوري دا وایي چې ګوره هغه کیسز سوره دي چې چاته کینسر دی 683 ایج کیسز یې اخستې دي صحیح شو چاته کینسر دی مطلب out of total سوره سامپل یې اخسته 3220 and دا کله چې کله هغه برچ مطلب خدای چې کله اولنې بچي ورکی هغه برچ سوره و that was 8 and 30 اوس equal to 30 یا less than 30 صحیح شو I total سوره اخستې دي 10245 out of 10245 صحیح شو 1498 چې کومه فیمیل وي چې اولنې برت ورکړو هغه ته کینسر نو ګوره اوس 32 ګوره 683 divided by 3220 that is 683 تقسیم کې په دې باندې you will get the proportion was and that is 21.2% proportion دی دا د کومي خلکو دا د هغه جینکو چې هغه for example first birth ورکی لیکن هغه ایج کم دی greater than 30 اوس چې کله 1498 تقسیم کې په 10 to 4 باندې you will get 14.6% صحیح شو and that is again the proportion لیکن proportion دا د هغه جینکو دا چې اولنې برت ورکی صحیح شو اولنې اولاد پیدا شي and هغه ایج کم دی 30 نه کمی صحیح شو نو اوس ګوره just put the values in the formula دا کا زړه فارمولا دا ګوره P1 دی 21 for example 2% that is 0.212 دا مغه سیس دی minus P2 صحیح شو اب P2 14.6% دی simply stated या 0.146 plus minus अब गोरा सूरा दे 95% थे टेबल ना वैल्यू रहू बासे you will get 1.96 whole under the root उस गोरा P1 again 21.2% थे या 0.212% सही शो into Q जिदा 21% थे नो दा बसूरा ही 78.8% या 0.788% दा तासो find out कोले ची पदे फार्मूले ना हम 1 minus P1 divided by N1 total sample जी सूरा खस्ती गोरा 3220 that is tasu sara 3220 3220 plus gora P2 second probability proportion sura de 14.6 या 0.146 सही शो ना 0.146 और Q ची संगे फाइंड आउट करे दे दा 14% है तो दा वो डेफिनेटली 85.4% या 0.854% भाई डिवाइडेड बाय टोटल सैंपल इस सूरा खस्ती हुए 10,245 that is tasura 10,245 solve the equation you will get at the end 0.05 into 0.82 द्वारा एक्सट्रीम च दा लोअर लिमिट थे दा अपर लिमिट थे सही शो P1 minus P2 द्वारा च दे पॉजिटिव्स दी सही शो नो उस चकला द्वारा पॉजिटिव दी so what does it mean we estimate that the cancer rate when age clear at first birth greater than 30 is between 0.5 and 0.82 higher than when age less than 30 simply stated बस तासो फिलहाल दलता पूरे कंसंट्रेट ओके कि P1 minus P2 it will start from 0.05 up to 0.82 सही हुआ सिर्फ दलता पूरे तासो दे पारा आंसर दे hope inshallah bit idea will be clear da already made question de pehla na solve show sahi shu dama da gana internet na me akhaste de now book na me yo question akhaste de sahi shu da taso de para self practice de دا به تاسو اول کلیر کما چې دا کوېسچن وایي سو صحیح پیرامیټر او کوارډینیټ به د فایند اوټ کما تاسو صرف فارموله کې ویلیو پټ کړئ ګوره اوی چې یو ساينټیست دی geneticist with a way is interested in the proportion of males and females in the population that have certain minor blood disorder. So for example blood disorder they were quote on bimari da sexual blood disorder in a random sample of 400 males us gore دو categories دي یو male variable دی او یو female study دا male total سوره خستی 100 صحیح شو اب male کې n1 سوره دی 100 اب out of 100 24 are found to be affected یا afflicted مطلب out of 100 male صحیح شو دا تاسو سره n1 دی نو دی کې 24x1 چې کوم دی هغه affected دي where female سوره خسته دي again female هم 100 اخسته دي صحیح شو اوس female کې n2 چې دی هغه 100 دی اب out of 100 13 female چې کوم دي x2 دا affected دي صحیح شو tested appear to have the disorder up compute 99% confidence interval for the difference between the proportion of males and females that have this blood disorder. I am male or female. So sure that disorder is rate che kam de difference che kam de da basuri. So go very simple de male ki tasu so kai awal p cap 1 find out kai. So sure 24 divided by 100. So sure da p cap 1 rashi. Ba q cap che kam de 1 minus p cap 1. उस बया फीमेल के p cap 2 find out की proportion of the females. So sure 13 divided by 100 by kai. تاسو سره به p cap 2 راشي اوس چې کله p cap 2 تاسو سره راشي now subtract this from 1 it will give you the q cap 2 نو دا څه کې p cap 1 q cap 1 p cap 2 q cap 2 صحیح شو دا چې کله تاسو سره راشي 99% confidence interval دی صحیح شو 99% z alpha by 2 table نه به value دوبه and just put the values in the formula hope inshallah a bit idea will be clear نو دا کوم چې estimation by parameter if you remember I told you چې estimation of parameter چې کوم دی د دوه حصو کې دی یو confidence interval حصہ ده او بل hypothesis حصہ ده نو confidence interval حصہ چې کوم ده مکمله مونږه کور کړل we study the confidence interval for mu the confidence interval for mu1 minus mu2 and we also discussed in the 13th lecture the confidence interval for p1 and p1 minus p2 according to your course outline no estimation by parameter د دې اولنې حصہ چې کومه وا confidence interval سیشل امونګه complete کړل now estimation سیشل for parameter د دې اول next حصہ چې کومه دا hypothesis testing inshallah we will start in our next lecture thank you so much hope a bit idea will be clear